It just says, yeah, waiting for Steve.
Yep, yep. So sorry about that. I am obviously very new to this.
Glad I
So
checked though.
I just went live. So it should be showing up
Yeah,
when
it's
the
up there now.
delay is over. Sorry about that, guys. Good evening, Ibrahim. Um, we should be good to go now. So everything that was probably missed before is that the next part in the Trident build um, is the afterburner assembly. So the I made a little bit of a change in my plans. I'm probably going to end up using the LGX in another project, but we're still going to assemble it today. We're also going to assemble the clockwork, and what I'm probably going to end up using in this build is Galileo. So, just starting by prepping the parts, filing the mating surfaces flat, and now I'm inserting the heat set inserts.
Sorry to interrupt again, but it says it's unlisted. Is that
Yep,
normal?
it is.
Okay.
I run it as unlisted because I have everybody here in Discord chat,
Oh, okay.
and I want to be able to um, edit it if I have to.
Okay.
So let's go back to here and make sure we get 3. Yeah, I think that's the safer way to go. Just in case. I'm trying to improve my setup each one of these, and apparently the background music I tried to get going isn't working this time, but I'll figure that out in between this and the next one. Get all these heat sets in. I might have put that one in backwards, but it'll be fine. The thing I'm trying to get rid of is my bulky headset, so give this a try with the AirPods and an external mic. Okay, so heat set inserts still for the
Oh, do you mean like when on the AirPods when you use that mic as well, it gets like really low quality?
yeah, I tried one of the first streams I did. I did a test before and tried using the AirPods, and the sound quality is just doesn't
Yeah,
come across very well.
it's it's just something to do with them. Like when the mic's active, like they have to like drop their quality somehow. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But you can't really get around it on Windows or anything. I mean, on Android and like other Linux stuff, it's much better.
You know, I just threw a little cheap Amazon external mic on the GoPro
Yeah.
cold shoe. I did test
Uh,
that one.
like, I like
Is it?
AirPods. It's just like the microphone is a bit off, but that's not really what I buy it for anyway.
Yeah. Okay, where are we at on? Okay, so we are going with the. Um, we're going with the
What's
ABBN. What's that?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, are you gonna go with like an ABBN?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
ABBN. So I got all the
I like the
pieces
color.
here.
The grey color is very nice.
The what?
The grey color.
Oh, thank you. This is
I have like
KVP
a blue color
graphite.
right now. Oh, graphite. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like I don't really like the stock afterburner cooler because like a lot of air just flows out towards the back. Really, it's not like very. It's not too directed, but it still works.
I've switched to almost exclusively ABS printing for a long time.
Yeah.
So I haven't really seen any problems with it, but I have been wanting to try out the ABBN, and I
Yeah.
also am going to be putting one on my Legacy, so I can do a big project in PLA on it. I'm going to print one of those 3D sets buggies, the little
Oh,
RC buggy. So I bought all the parts for it. I had the motor and the suspension and all the purchase parts. The belts I had to order from AliExpress, and those just came in. So I'm hoping to start that project pretty soon.
all right. I'll be right back. I need to just check my printer now and start a new printer. But
Yep.
yeah, see you in a bit.
Okay. Let's see here. And I won't. And those that might be listening or on the stream, the Discord ends up going into live stream mode, so I don't see if you're trying to message me. I just see it if I happen to look at the specific notifications. So, okay, switch back here. Okay, so we are going to be, since we're at this part of the build, the hot end I'm going to be going with is the Dragon Voron edition. Comes with this neat little case and some tools and hardware. Honestly, I don't know where you can buy these right now. I'm sure if you ask on Discord if there's any available. Nozzle in there. Take the silicone sock off for now. And we'll tighten all that up later. So let's see. Like 3 by 16. Oh no, yeah, and then the screws to install the hot end itself. Okay. Still trying to go through the hardware that I set aside instead of dipping into my other collections. I don't see. 20s. There we go. What do we have here? Hey, we have a few more people. How's everyone going? Sanity, Rubian?
I'm fine.
Camus. Sorry for the slow start today.
I'm back now, and the chat seems more full now.
I won't be here for really long because I gotta go in like 15 minutes. It's
Oh, hello,
getting
Curse.
late
Switch
here.
right now. You have the oh god, I can't speak. You have the curse switch rod, don't you?
Yes,
The one that
sort
always
of.
breaks.
Well, it
And
hasn't broken like recently. It's just that I still have to rebuild it because of the Z-axis being kind of trash above 150 millimeters. But I don't really know how to fix it because like I know that the frame isn't square because like the Z-axis is tilted back a bit, but the extrusions themselves, they are parallel to each other.
yeah, that's the first thing I did, make sure it's square, and didn't continue my build at all unless I'd sure it was exactly square.
I
So then
could
I didn't think about
I could in theory like try and recut the extrusions at the bottom, but I don't know if I can actually get it like more square than what it is already. I think I'll just make it worse.
Oh yeah, and linear rails are much more like picky when it comes to squaring.
Like
Always in mind.
it runs fine. It's just that it's tilted back, so there's probably something with the belts that's causing it to like not run like correctly above 150 millimeters.
Probably just squaring it is just a certain height. And Sanity, what about you? Okay, never
Sorry,
mind, Sanity's dead.
what?
Oh, you are? Okay, you are here.
I am,
Thought you were
yeah.
dead for a sec.
No, maybe, well, I'm a little bit
Alright.
slow today. I was yesterday on a maker fair in Prague, actually. There was, locally here, it organizes, or basically covers it, Prussia. So, yeah, it was fun. There were like 150, well, booths or contributors or people who are doing something, and it was, well, maker fair. So, yeah, pretty fun.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna
Ray's
share.
still not here. No, he's not.
And
You keep
yeah, I
telling Ray.
didn't know that there is a Czech company that makes an interesting hot end. And there is a Czech company that makes an interesting big ass printer, IDEX.
Oh, you said chicken then. I was like, what the hell? Chicken
Czech.
company.
Czech and Slovakia.
Yeah, I know. Check. I bet it's
Czech
chicken.
Republic. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, speaking of hot ends, I was gonna buy a dragon, and now I can't.
Really?
Haha.
Oh, hang on.
I was gonna buy
They
one from Triangle Labs, and then
they
yeah.
don't have it? I still see it. And
No, Myra, I can't see it. It's just
I'm
gone.
like the printer that I'm designing is like it has the dragon in mind, so I just hope that stuff gets sorted out whenever I like
well, I
someday
mean, you have
hopefully get done like
Dragonfly,
designing it.
potentially. Yeah, that was. I don't know what to
Yes, but
think
like
of this
I
whole
haven't worked on the
situation.
thing for like 2 months now because
Oh.
Genshin has been sucking up all of my time.
Oh.
But I'm getting to the point in Genshin where it's like I can't like at the moment I
Okay.
legit can't do shit in the game because I don't have resin. I have completed all the quests. I have like basically explored the entire world. So there's nothing for me to do in the game. So
I
now
would
I'm
put
kind of
a green
forced to work
screen.
on the other printer.
Try another game. Hey, there are plenty of those.
I watched it becoming a printer stream, and it's just us talking about random things now.
Yes.
I hope Steve doesn't mind, but if he wants to moderate it.
I
Just
don't
keep it.
mind, but let me step in a little bit and just kind of catch up where I'm at right now. So, I've installed the Dragon hot end in the tool head. I need to cut the Ptfe tube to the right length. Ages ago, I made just this little printed part, that I clamp the Ptfe
Smart.
tube in and then use a razor blade to make sure the end is square. And
Square. Uh-huh.
but now
Oh
I'm
yeah, there are
looking up.
various. There are actually various those cutting and chamfering jigs now. You can find those if you need like
I just got
60-degree
mine
chamfer.
with the side cutters that came with my printer, and to the side that I cut off, I put that near the extruder, so I still have the like the flat piece on the hot end itself. Not that it really matters because it doesn't go all the way to the nozzle, so like
So does anybody have right off the top of their head what the Ptfe length is for the Dragon?
Dragon.
Oh,
what
Is it 28 millimeters or is it 32?
yeah,
or...
think
well, I would say
32.
cut it 32 and then see if it's too long.
I can have a look.
Engineering, yeah.
I won't need to
Because
do that.
and I heard in
Yeah,
the narrow stream it's like 28 for the V6. So I'm
Someone
not
find-
sure about the Dragon.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up Fusion 360 real quick and check. Be
I
right
used to remember it
back.
so well, but now I've just forgotten.
Can you share the screen and show how do you actually find it?
Let me see.
Why'd my printer crash again?
I'm not
Oh.
sure.
My printer crashed again mid-print. What the hell?
I'm
Oof.
not sure if I
On
can
Discord, there
see
should
that
there
real
should
quick.
be a button to share screen.
At
Share
the
your
the
screen.
bottom where you have the like the
Right,
stuff
but it
where
has-
you enable your camera, it also has the thing for the for your screen.
I get that, but will it show through OBS? And
Oh, okay.
let me try.
All right, you're a big streamer right now. I see.
Yeah. You can just select the like in Discord you can just select just the window of Fusion. Then it will only stream Fusion to Discord.
Oh wow, I'm back. I think I fried my SKR Mini.
Really?
Oof.
Oh,
Oh no!
Yeah, the hot end is just always on now.
oh,
Oh.
oops.
Yeah, like it crashed mid-print. I was like, what? It's like the second time it's crashed today. I was wondering what's going on. And now whenever I turn the printer on, the hot end lights comes on. You can't turn it off.
Um,
That's
So yeah, my
sometimes-
printer's messed up now. Nice.
Oh.
how did that even happen?
I don't know. It's weird because like it's not been touched. Like I've only done software stuff today, but I haven't really changed any wiring or anything.
Well, if you did software stuff, it could be that you like inverted the pin or something.
No,
That
I
you
didn't-
change something in the firmware.
Like, software stuff is in like Raspberry Pi stuff. Like I was doing like the Raspberry Pi like packages and stuff, like updating things. I didn't change config or anything.
All right. Imagine
But-
updating stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like I only updated recently because like someone was having issues and I was like, let's just see like if I can recreate it so I can help him troubleshoot easier. And since then I didn't update anymore.
Also, since my
I
hot end was
clicked.
stuck in an always on position, like my afterburner started melting. Nice.
Oh. I looked at
why
my
me?
past I looked at my past orders and I clicked on the Dragon order that I was ordering from Triangle Labs and it looks like the page is still active. I mean alive, and looks like I can order actually the Dragon. So if anybody wants a link, I can send them.
Like, last time I looked, I can still get it just like from your web store.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get Fusion out that's not updated on this laptop. So let me just get this Ptfe length real quick. I have 26 millimeters for a Dragon.
Oh, 26 even.
Yeah. Set this
I
guy.
think I'm actually still using the cheap Ptfe that came with my Ender in my switch wire right now. Even though I have Capricorn laying around.
I had it perfect. Where I just set it.
Oh, God's sake, I'm back again. I tried turning on my printer again and it literally blew up. Nice.
Oof.
And there was smoke everywhere
Magic smoke.
on a brand new board. Nice.
That's
Oh
a bummer.
man, how did...
I have
So-
yet to fry a board.
I didn't
So I
even
have
change anything though.
So I have a 26 millimeter length of Ptfe in here. I also bought a little chamfer tool, and I'll chamfer the inlet side
Uh-huh.
just a real quick by hand. Doesn't take much.
I just shoved an Allen, like the end of an Allen key in there to make the hole a bit bigger.
And then just making sure there is no Ptfe left in there to clog the nozzle. Okay, and then this whole thing can come out of here, and then that chamfered side goes out.
You have some fly or some spider in front of the camera.
Oh, there is. So, I'm in my garage, and
I know.
lately I've probably killed a dozen baby spiders, and I'm pretty sure they're black widows. So we've got a
Oof.
definite black widow problem around here. So I don't know if I need to just fog the Ptfe in there. Now I can tighten everything up. I assembled it loose before. So as far as the general chat in here, I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with chatting, but just remember that the primary purpose of the stream is the Trident assembly. So, and be aware that this is being streamed to YouTube and it will end up going live. It's not live right now. It's unlisted, but it's not public right now. It's live, but not public. Okay, so
Are you using the ABBN as well?
I am. So today, just to kind of recap real quick, I'm going to be using ABBN, but as far as the extruder, I was going to use the LGX. I've decided I'm probably going to have a different use for that, but we're going to assemble it today. And we're also going to assemble Clockwork and Galileo. And then we'll get on to doing some stuff on the printer itself. So I think we should go at least 2 hours, maybe a little more today. We'll see. We'll see how things go. So, back to the manual. So, tool head's on, Ptfe tube is in. The length sticking above. Is right at 10 millimeters, as the manual says. And then we'll have those. Now I think there's a little difference in screw lengths maybe somewhere on the ABBN, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so I have a... So I have a 50 watt 24 volt heater, and I am going to be using PT100. I'll be using a PT100 thermistor in this.
100. It's the one that requires amplifier, as they call it.
Yep. And down here.
I wonder if I should use an amplifier board for my current thermistor. Because like the readings are all over the place at room temperature. I think it's one of those high temp ones.
Oh no, I'm back again. I keep coming back.
So I'm gonna.
So
put
it
both.
wasn't like a capacitor broke or something. It was literally the main STM32, whatever it's called, the main CPU, the MC, whatever it's called. So yeah, I just found like flames coming out of it. I'm not sure if that's normal, but oh well. Guess that board's dead.
I think it's completely normal if there are flames coming from your board. It makes it go faster.
Yeah.
Overclocking much?
So I'm gonna
Fuck
put
this game.
the wire
I'm
into
gonna
this.
Well, I got one good thing, at least, for like the first time in fucking weeks.
I'm gonna
But
bend
in
the...
G-Chat,
This game is rigged. This game is completely
So-
rigged.
Let's watch the language, guys, please. Since this is streaming to YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to bend this. I'm using a pair of pliers right next to the heater just to make sure I don't put any extra stress on that. I'm going to bend a 90 into it.
I didn't do that, and I felt like I was ripping the wires out.
I think
Right, I
bending
should
them
do that
once
next time.
shouldn't be a problem. Problem maybe if you start bending them
Bend
back
it.
and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to temporarily pull the hot end out. And then we're going to set the... I put the thermistor and the hot end, or the heater cartridge, on the same side for my setups. And we will
I see
need-
the assembly manual now has also the cable routing inside the afterburner for these cables.
Let's see. Yeah, and I don't actually follow that one. So they have it listed there. That's not how I have been building them. This is a high flow Dragon tool head that I've done previously. You see, I have them both coming out the same side.
Oh.
And it seems to work okay. Now I end up having to extend the wires on these, on the cartridge and the thermistor. So, just have to figure out what length I need. So I'm basically just going to cut these ends off because it needs to be redone anyway. So temporarily...
I should probably design, like the printer I'm designing, I should probably try and use something other than a Dragon high flow, because the printer will probably outrun it with ease. 'Cause it's gonna
Mosquito
be
Magnum Plus.
no fuck slice. I'm not gonna buy anything
No,
from them.
don't
like,
curse,
ever.
please. Or Steve will get flagged
Yeah,
by
yeah,
YouTube.
I really
like
appreciate
slice
everybody
more.
watching the language. Or I'm
Yes.
gonna have to
Oh, you remember that?
figure out another solution here.
Like
Get a
I'm gonna
mod.
have to find something that's like that isn't crazy expensive, but has more flow than the Dragon high flow. It's like,
Super
I will
Volcano.
probably
You still have
yes, but
Super
that's
Volcano.
like that's way too big. I need something that's
Okay.
like compact.
Hey, use 2 of them.
Oh, I need to find a new board now. Let's spend a lot
No.
of money on it.
Like the thing is, there is still room left in the like in the mounting bracket, so you could technically, if you had the tools, make a custom heat
Cyclops?
break with the where like the big copper slug is actually a bit higher, because you can still move the heat sink up a bit, which should give you a bit more flow.
I see.
But like I don't have the tools for it, and like I could go to Mello and say, hey, can you make one that has like the longer slug in it? But they probably won't do it.
Mm.
I guess I could buy like the Volk mask to put on there, but I have no clue where to get it. And I'll have to like completely redesign the tool head that I already made.
Oh,
Let's see what's going on here. I'm trying to
Long
get-
I'll
work for
I'll
long
try.
winter evenings. Steve, were you planning to put Dragon there, or was it triggered by recent events?
What do you mean? Was
Uh,
I planning a Dragon for this build?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that was
okay.
From the beginning.
The only reason why I got the NF Crazy is because I sold some prints to someone, so I made like $40. So I was like, let's just spend it on buying the NF Crazy, and like literally just to do a single speed bench in like 15 minutes. Like in normal printing, I'm not even going like above 10 millimeters a second cubed.
That's sensible.
Which, like, I can easily do that with the what is it, with the micro switch clone that I had in there.
I am always worried to break those cables. What Steve is doing.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. I pulled the little insulator
Insulation.
up too
Yeah.
far. and now it's trying to get it back over the.
Actually, my
inner.
Prussia has those wires naked there.
I'm still running the like the wires that initially came on the on my heater through the drag changer, which probably isn't the smartest thing because I don't know
No.
like what sort of stuff it is. But I've been running it for like a month now, and it like I haven't found any like shavings of the insulation yet.
The shavings should not be a problem, but the cables inside will break. The strands.
There we go.
Like the thing is, I don't have any more
Uh-huh.
wire to replace it, and like it the thermistor and heater actually came with the like the Molex connectors,
Are you
which I
also
don't have a crimping tool for.
Are you securing it with something there? Some heat shrink or something?
Me?
Yeah.
I will be. So first I need to extend it because where's my other tool head? They're going to need to be longer to reach the connector that I use. And I try to make these so they can swap between all of my printers. So I try to duplicate the lengths and everything.
So you will just solder extra length to there?
Yeah, I'll be extending these wires.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to select a good spot in the so that I'm joining them in here where it's mounted. So I'm extending them down here. I don't try to extend them up here. I'll extend them down here where it's tied to the.
Why not up there?
Because that part of the wiring moves, and I don't want it to break because I'll end up soldering them to extend them, soldering and heat shrinking.
Oh yeah, question. Like the wires that came with my thermistor, they have like the fabric insulation. How good is that for drag chains?
I probably wouldn't run it through X or Y just because of the amount of movement and the amount of that it touches.
Oh yeah, I still find it funny how whenever I built the printer, I didn't even notice that one of the fan blades of my electronics cooling was missing. So recently, when I pulled it apart to mess around with the steppers, because I got the like the big new ones to test for the other printer, and I was like, hey, there's a fan blade missing of this fan. No wonder my printer vibrates all the time when it's on.
Ooh. Unbalanced.
Yes, but
It's
it's
also
like
probably some extra load on the fan itself, and it may die faster.
well,
Or
it's the
maybe-
fan that came with my Ender, which I bought like end last year, and it's been running now for like however long I had this printer with one blade missing, and it's still fine.
I mean, I had a GPU with one out of 3 fans that were there. One had a broken blade, and it was okay.
I think I do have a replacement fan I could put in. The issue is I don't really want to take the cover off of my electronics, because then all the wires will explode out of there. Because like there's too much wire in there and too little room. Like I only have like 120 by 80 by like 30 millimeters to work with in terms of space for all of my cable management, which is basically non-existent. And given that half the board is actually under my Y extrusion, I actually can't reach half of the board. Which kind of was a design flaw, but like it works, I guess.
Wire to extend the thermistor.
The one thing that I will miss whenever I build the the cross gantry printer I'm designing is that it won't have drag chains, because like drag chains do look really nice, but
They do.
I don't really feel like blowing up the printer just so I can run a drag chain through the through the gantries, because I'll have to go over the Y gantry and then under it again, because otherwise I won't be able to fit it in there. So it will hit stuff.
I
if-
found it I found it funny when I suggested somebody was complaining that, hey, my wires are sagging and the gantry on my Ender 3 is sagging when it is powered off, and I was like, okay, put the the retractable keychain there like a key bag, and actually people were laughing at me, and I don't know why. There is one whole printer designed around it.
I
Well,
could,
not around it,
I
but
can actually keep my gantry up
it's a good
without a key
idea.
back. It's just that that if without the key back, whenever the
Mhm.
motive power off, it does drop a bit, and sometimes it does tend to like fall down. And I actually did a print without it, but they had really inconsistent layers. I don't know why, but it's probably because the motors have to hold up all the weight while they're trying to
Oh.
move the tool head around.
You use just some silicone wires?
Ptfe wire.
Oh, Ptfe.
Blue.
Okay.
It's
I
leftovers
got
from.
the
It's leftovers from a stepper.
Uh-huh.
like Galuflon wires on my build. And I was like, initially I was gonna get 15 meters, but then I decided to get 20 meters just to potentially have a bit extra. But like I haven't even but like I'm still using the wires from like the extruder motor itself, and I just have a like two of the female connectors pinching the connector that you normally solder on the board. I have those pinched in there to connect it to the board because I didn't have any wires to like lengthen it.
I'm going to use a little bit of heat shrink to just protect the wires. I'm going to put myself on mute because I'm going to run a hot air gun to melt the heat shrink. And I don't think that's going to be pleasant for you guys, so give me just a second.
Oh.
I gotta go anyway because it's getting late here. Well, I'll see you another time, I guess.
Have a good one. Thanks for joining.
Okay. Talk to you sometime later.
That is done. So now the similar location for the I don't know. I usually stagger where I cut them, just so that the I didn't do it as much there, just a little bit, but just so the joint doesn't make this whole area right here super fat.
Is this part moving too much actually? That you're putting
It should-
Ptfe wires there?
No, but it's nice, easy to work with, easy to crimp wire.
Oh.
It could be silicone. It really wouldn't matter.
Oh, okay.
And these fiberglass wire insulation always, or this
Because
fiber
I think you were
insulation.
I think you were previously saying that because this part moves, so I was like wondering, like, no, this shouldn't.
No, well, I didn't mean in terms of this part when you're installing it. can
Okay.
move. This
Oh,
is all
okay, that's
fixed
what you
in
meant.
place when I'm unplugging or plugging it in. It doesn't move while the thing's printing. But I just
Okay.
wanted this to be as flexible as possible. I may need to move it around or whatever to get to the spot. I just wanted my joints to be down here that are fixed, that are never going to move. These move a little bit.
That's what you meant. Okay, I
Yeah.
got it.
Tune the wires. Try not to breathe the the fumes. I have a bunch of spare of the same wire, so pull the length of this out so I can use it to extend. These engineer strippers seem to be pretty nice. They're nice and sharp. So how far are you from cereal, Sanity?
Far, as always.
I got a few viewers on YouTube. And back to my bag of a box of heat shrink. Red. Okay, I'm gonna go mute again for the heat gun. Okay. Those are all done. Actually, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take some bigger heat shrink and estimate how much length I need. And bundle all of this up. And I run just my own preference, I run the heaters in the center 2 pins, and then the thermistor on the outer 2, so I'll try to line that up. That down there. Screw in here to hold things in place. And more heat gun action, so I'll be right back. It's still a little warm. See? Okay. rest of this I can do while it's all installed on here. The other screws back in. And some zip ties. Anybody new in chat? Howdy.
Board is so destroyed now.
The what?
This board,
Oh,
my one that blew up just now.
you have any idea what happened?
No, it's just like a big hole right in the middle of the main STM32 chip.
Oh, so
I don't know what caused it, since like it just happened like mid-print. So like, don't know what it was. Someone says I should claim warranty, but I don't know.
good in there.
Because I don't like claiming warranty if something's broken because I did it.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to actually check like what could have caused it, even though it was working beforehand for a very long time.
Okay, so I'm going to cut these about maybe just a little long. Now I gotta find my handy dandy microfit kit. So I have two different sizes here. I got a 20 gauge and a 24 gauge, so I need to get the different size pins. 26 to 30. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's all, what does he say? 20 to 24. Okay. Now the female pins. That is not these. I've got another box somewhere for the actual connector housing. 2, 3, and one more. My close-up sight is so bad I end up getting these 5x readers off of Amazon, and they make this fine close-up work so much better. Clean up the strands from this fiber insulation. Crippers, and before I go too far I need to make sure I know which direction these go. So let's crimp that up. Those should be good to connect, to insert into a connector. The problem is I don't know where my connectors are. I bought a pile of them very recently. I spend about 1 minute looking for them. If I don't find it, then I'll just move on. Probably in this box. Hey, there we are. Okay. Tool head all set up. Which I need to tighten the heater cartridge in place. And I'd already tightened the thermistor, so pull that on and the silicone sock back on. We'll tighten the nozzle later. This out of the way. Now back to the manual. Let's see. And I'm not going to install that onto the printer yet. So we can start on clockwork. Pieces and the stepper, and I need to clean up. Anybody else in chat working on a Trident? Or what are you working on if not a Trident?
I can't tell you here.
What's that?
I can't tell you what I'm working on here.
Hi, Ro-
How you doing, Ray?
I'm good. All I can tell you is KiCad is open.
Nice.
Ooh, some new board.
Yeah, I've been working on this one for a bit.
And any more info, or is it secret?
It's secret, all right.
Okay.
Did it exist originally as vaporware?
Everything we make is vaporware.
That's
I mean,
true.
it at least comes out. There's one thing I'm thinking of that's a PCB that hasn't come out yet.
Well, there's a couple. There's actually a few more beyond that.
Oh.
There's a. How many PCB projects are there right now? Let me go count.
A lot.
Give us the names while you're at it.
Well,
Damn.
the names wouldn't even help. Oh, that one might help. Let's see. Here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Oh wait, nope, 6. 6, 7. 7.
Nice.
There's 7 projects.
So I have
Ooh.
been installing my clockwork setups a little different than most. So if you have the motor plate here, Let's say this side would be your wire cover, right? I've been installing it with the wiring going off towards the left side of the printer instead of the right. This is because I can have a lot more wire here. I tend to try to minimize the permanent things that I do. So I usually have the wire come back around and then connect into the cable chain. So it's not something that's important. It's just the way I happen to do them. So if you see that and it's different from what you've seen, that's why I'm doing this. So.
Do you also try to stagger the connectors somehow?
Yeah, I don't actually put the stepper connector.
You leave it behind.
Connector, I leave it behind. It sits right at the entrance to the cable chain on mine.
Yeah.
And that allows me to use just the regular cover without and still fit everything else inside. So we're gonna install this one screw. Early on in Afterburner, they took RCF took the stepper mounting holes and made them slots for a little bit of adjustment, so you can adjust the mesh between the what you would call the pinion gear and the Bondtech spur gear here. So that's why that one stays loose for right now. Let's see if I'm actually following the instructions to some degree. Yeah, so they mention here, this is the adjustable motor position. That's why that screw stays somewhat loose for a moment. Then I'm actually pulling this whole assembly, the BMG drive assembly, out of another, so it's already assembled here. All these. Okay. So, get this just enough to be able to move things just a little bit. This isn't, I'm checking mesh here, but it's not valid until the whole thing's put together. I'm just getting it close. And if you've ever worked on RC cars, where their method, a common method for those is put a piece of copy paper in between your teeth, and that sets your mesh. I think that's a little bit too much for a 3D printer, so I just go for by feel and just the tiniest detectable amount of rock. When you move this gear back and forth, you should be able to detect just the tiniest little bit of rock between the stepper gear and the drive gear.
So you don't mesh them all the way together?
Not all the way. You don't push them all the way together.
Oh, I'm
You
back.
want just the tiniest little degree of rock. And right now, like I said, it's not a valid check. It's close because the spur gear here is so close to the mount point, but this end is gonna, since it's floating right now, is gonna have an effect on the.
I figured out what killed my printer. It was
What killed it?
It's like I'm using the toolhead PCB, and like two traces were shorted together by a screw because the screw went in too tight, and I forgot to put a washer there.
Oh
What?
no.
So yeah, I'm not going to be claiming warranty since it was my fault. So I'll just buy another one. Because I disagree with claiming warranty if it's user fault, like if other people do it. I'm just like, no, I don't do it.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, you want to support them. You don't like
Yep.
mess them over because it's your fault. But oh well.
Oh,
Well, I learned a lesson, I guess. Use a washer next time.
The nylon washers.
I put it into G-Chat. You can see it there.
Can you tell which two traces it shorted?
24 volt and hot end fan, I think. Wait, no, that shouldn't work. That should
That
just like.
would that would just blow a MOSFET out.
Wait, no, I think it's. I'm looking at the wrong pin. I think yeah, I'm looking at the wrong pin. Hold on.
So with it together now,
Looks like
bolt-
XN stop. No, not XN stop. No, that's 24 and
with it bolted together, I still detect just the tiniest bit of rock. So I'm going to leave that right like that.
Okay, no, I'm back. I'm back. It was 24 volts the chamber for Mister, so that's why my reading.
that would blow the ass out of a STM32.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why my readings were never right for my chamber thermistor. So I've been spending ages trying to get my thermistor to work, and it just never did. So that might have been the problem all along. But yeah,
Why did I just hear all my UPSs go click?
3x20.
wait,
I don't like that.
yeah, it's definitely chamber thermistor. Went.
Okay. So normally,
Who was the designer of the board?
You're
That
back,
hard?
sorry.
is that Hart? Hart?
Yep,
Um,
it
the
was.
3.2 one, I think.
Not designer, sorry. Manufacturer. Did you buy it pre-assembled or?
No, I soldered it. I bought like just the board with like the pins out of it, and I just soldered stuff on.
No, fair enough.
But yeah, the trace has been like damaged because the traces lie right under where the screw goes. So if you do like the screw slightly too tight, then I mean you could just use a washer, but I just didn't get some of my kit, so I thought it'd be fine as long as I didn't tighten it down too much.
It's good to know, though.
Yeah, I'll message the guy I bought it from just to make sure like he knows. Maybe it's a good idea to include washers in this. Because he sells like all the stuff like together, like all you need for the the tool head PCB. God, I can't speak anymore. But yeah, I'll make sure like get onto him.
You can see that, yeah.
Okay, so that is clockwork. Not a whole lot to pay attention to except for that gear mesh. So now this will likely just become a shelf ornament because I'm probably not going to use it in this build. So, like I said,
LGX?
No, actually, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, and
Oh,
I don't know if it came across or not. I was planning on doing an LGX. It's probably going to get a different, be used in a different project. So today I was going to just go through all of them. I figured there's probably some little tips to go through. Installing Clockwork, LGX, and Galileo. So we'll put all of them together. And the one I'm most likely going to use on this build though is the Galileo. So, but the next one, LGX, is going to go quick. This is just taking the LGX as it comes out of the box, the printed adapter, which this is the Nimgria's design, and I tweaked it. I made it one piece and a couple other little things, and then made it compatible, the little notches for the, so it clears the MGN12 pieces. The LGX, we removed the front lower screws. And this one, I think, if I was installing this, I was going to rotate the stepper so that the connector was going to be underneath the cable, the wire cover, since I think that would install well and fit nicely. So I'm going to do that right here. And then this piece just slides in from the front and uses the screws that came with the LGX. And then for extra support, the LGX, one of the kind of neat things, similar to the Chimera, it has a lot of built-in mount points, and there's 2 on the bottom. So for a little extra support, Nemgria put, I think you have to use button head screws, and they are M3 by 20. And screw those in from the bottom, just kind of barely snug. So that's the adapter installed. It will need 2 heat set inserts, so let's put those on.
What kind of soldering iron do you use?
This is a Weller WES 51. I've had it for years. And I got this nice little set of heat set insert tips off Amazon for sizes from M2 all the way up to I think M6. Unfortunately, the cool little adapter or insert tool that comes in the LDO V0.1 kits does not fit this iron. But these do, so let's install these. I'm gonna go through do all of this anyway. Who knows, I might install it on some other printer later, or maybe try it on this one. It doesn't take much to swap. There's 2 inserts in the back side here. Now I don't know. I tried finding to see if anybody in the community had come up with a good cable chain mount and wire cover mount for this, and I didn't see much. If somebody knows of one, if you message it to me. So I spent a little bit of time modeling something, and it's based on the stock or the spec cable chain mount. It turns out that the distance here between the thickness of the whole assembly between Clockwork and the LGX, in CAD it measures at 0.3 millimeter difference. Just holding it up, it's hard to detect a difference. So we should be able to use the same install method that we do for Clockwork, and that is removing these 2 screws from the stepper and putting the cable chain mount in there. Now the problem with this in this particular setup that I don't like is I had to take 25 millimeter screws and grind them down to 24 or a little under 24, because at 25 millimeters they only leave 3 millimeters for the LGX to mount to that, and that's not enough. So I ground them down to about 24, 23 and a half, 24 millimeters, and that'll work.
24 millimeters metric screws are not common, I think.
Correct. That's why I took a 25 and ground it down. So now we have the cable chain adapter installed, and then I modified a regular afterburner cover to install the same way it does otherwise. And 3x8 screw into the only modification to this cover is the location of this screw. I think that looks pretty good. I think it would work just fine. And what took us, an hour on the... probably half an hour on Clockwork. That was about, 5 minutes to put LGX together?
Yeah, but I mean, LGX is a complete extruder, so.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I'm anxious to actually try it in a printer.
Is
Um,
is it actually worth it? I mean, it's not the cheapest one.
no, not at all. I've gotten great quality out of just Clockwork, out of Galileo. It's just another option.
No issue 6 or issue 602 or whatever.
Issue 6 too badly.
Every single FDM printer is going to have that. So
Yeah.
Wait, issue 6 was so bad.
the problem with issue 6 is actually getting everybody to understand what that is. Because if you ask 10 different people what issue 6 is, you're probably going to get 3 or 4 or 5 different answers. I forgot to put the cable chain stuff on.
Well, I've got to buy new printer parts now, and it's not going to be cheap. But yeah, might need to get a new toolhead PCB as well, since that was a problem. Also, the retailer I got it from, I messaged him saying that like it might be a good idea to include washers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should not be selling this since it's going to blow up everyone's boards. But yeah. Well, it's my fault completely, but oh well, I learned. And yeah, thank you everyone for helping me.
Nylon washers
Forgot
are a
what it
good
was.
idea when mounting PCB, unless it has a dedicated screw, spot for a screw.
Just for completeness and matching here, I drawn the cable chain and wire cover on the Clockwork. Okay, Galileo. So, Galileo is a tool head adapted from the Roberto Lorenz orbiter setup by Jared. And let me see, I've got all the information is on Jared's GitHub.
Jared was here a while ago.
Was he in here? He didn't say
Yeah.
anything.
No.
Punk. So, this is the latest release. I've printed all the latest parts. And I don't think there's a actual installation manual, so we'll just kind of wing it. I'm running a Galileo on the on my purple Trident. And if you're still around, Unmaker in YouTube chat, yeah, that was the iWis crimper. I really like it. I've been using it for all of my builds. I don't feel like I need anything beyond that. So, okay. Let's go back. So, gather up. Let's put these off to the side. So I'm going to base this on the Galileo Clockwork kit from LDO. It comes with the stepper motor, injection molded parts for the gears, for the planetary gears, and the aluminum machined shaft. So,
Where did you get this kit?
I got it on a group buy through through Jared, but I think Printed Solid and those places sell it. Anybody know that for sure? I think it's available in retail. Then I'm just going to clean up the mating surfaces. he has an updated cable chain thing that I printed. So, okay. I have a bunch of heat sets to put in. Start with this piece. I think that one is the last one. Motor plate. What extruder are you going to run on your printer, Sanity?
Dragon standard flow so far. I have also the high flow, but maybe later.
Which,
Triangle.
no, but what extruder setup? Galileo or
Yeah, I
Clockwork?
was just
Or...
gonna say
Oh,
he said
sorry,
hot
extruder. Sorry, hot end. Yeah.
I used to get mixed up all the time anyway.
No, just standard clockwork.
Clockwork, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm using Clockwork too. Well, I was using Clockwork when my printer worked, but oh well.
The latest little change is really nice on Clockwork. Redoing the latch setup. It made
Oh
a lot-
yeah.
I wonder if I can buy like a new chip for this and like solder a new chip on. Or there could be much more damage actually. I don't know.
Okay. So I think all of those are correct. Let's pull the. Where did my... Pull this injection molded part off. Oh, I got one more. There's a heat set tucked down inside of that for the Geidler tension.
Oh, at least I got a new duck now. A new big tree deck duck.
Oh yeah,
I can get two now.
I've got a pile of those.
I put one on every printer for good luck.
Okay, so all of this comes apart. I am going to take a little bit of canned air because it's been sitting around and make sure not a lot of dust on anything. And I'm going to grab this is the grease that came with the V0.1 kit, so I think it'll work pretty well for this.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch the beginning. Is this like specific Galileo group buy, or was this an orbiter?
This
And you
was
modified.
Galileo.
Okay.
This is a Galileo kit, and the difference being is, so this is the orbiter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I took the guts out of this one, and that's what I used in the purple Trident for the Galileo setup there.
So you can just buy an orbiter and adapt it to Galileo then.
The difference being that this bearing here is larger than the rear bearing, and on Galileo you use 2 of the smaller bearings.
I see.
So I think there's a user mod to be able to use the larger bearing, but
who came with this idea and why didn't they patent it?
So a guy named Robert Lorenz.
Yeah.
If you search for orbiter on Thingiverse, you'll find all his information. That's what the Galileo setup is based on. Okay, so I didn't. There we go. Clean the grease off my hands. Okay. This I'm gonna put in here and just kind of turn it around and get that. Can you hear that?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Just the. Okay, so that hardware kit. Oh. So the cool thing about this LDO kit, and LDO is doing such a good job with these kit things, is it comes with all the heat set inserts, all the screws, anything you would need to assemble this. Now I didn't use the heat set inserts, I grabbed my own, but they're there. So we're going to take one of these bearings, and I believe it goes on after. So this is going to go in here, and then this bearing in there, and then tucks into that spot. The Bondtech 8mm drive gears. So this one has, this is the idler. It has a pressed in bearing setup. Let's see, I'm going to use a little different grease for that. I have no idea what this stuff is. It's a dark grease that came with one of my RC cars, but it seems to work pretty well. What I'm going to do is plug the other end with my finger and push this grease in, and that if I got enough of it in there, it'll help push it into the bearings in there.
And does it use the needle bearings as well?
Yeah, it has needle bearings down in there. It's just the whole thing seems to be pressed into the idler. And I'm going to go grab some paper towels just so I can keep this clean. Okay. Just kind of wipe the end of the... And it uses Galileo uses a unique printed part for this. So that goes in there. And that goes in there. And what's this, 1mm? Yeah, grub screw. This part, there's a flat on the aluminum carrier. We're going to match the grub screw to. We're also going to look, I think this goes. Now, the latest version of the Galileo, because of a change in the Bondtech machining, so there we go. Here, let me just take this off. if you look at the Bontech gear here, where the hobbed, or the spot where the filament goes is, it's different depending on when you got these gears, when they were manufactured. The location of this groove is further inboard, I think, than the older ones. So there's a little printed spacer that you have to put to either side of this, depending on what when your Bontech gear was made. So I am going to put it on first just to try, and I'm just going to kind of test fit this. Oops. The other bearing. We're just going to do a test fit to see if the there we go. And I think it's backwards. I need to put it to the outside. Actually, no, I think it's correct. So if you get in there, you can see that it lines up with the filament path. And it may be for any particular installation, you might have to print some varying sizes of that shim to get things to line up just perfect. But that looks pretty good. Okay. Now, before we put that on, let's put the... And similar to the other setups, I'm going to put my cables pointing down. It's going to come around and to hit the cable chain. Let's see. Oh. This lower, this motor mount screw needs to be long enough to stick out the other side of the stepper, because that's where the wire cover hooks onto. What size is this? So I think I need a 20 millimeter there. There we go. That will stick out a little bit, and then this wire cover will end up hooking on that in order to stay in place. And then this whole thing turns pretty easy. The nice thing, so the very first one of these that I built was with the MJF printed pieces, and that took a ton of work to break in, and once it was broken in, one of the planetary gears inside had gotten so loose I didn't like it. So fortunately the orbiter that I showed you a bit ago came in, and I was able to switch to the injection molded gears, and these just work right off with no break-in. shuttle. The Geidler setup. I'm just guessing on these screw lengths. I think I'm right. And then we need to put a heat set inserts in the cable chain mount because it's part of holding all this together. Have any new people in chat? Doesn't sound like it. Okay. So, can everybody still hear me? Yeah, is everybody still there? Am I able to be heard? Sanity, do you hear me? I don't hear you. Oh crap. Okay.
In AliExpress. I'm not sure the legitimacy of that. I should check this out. Oh, and it's genuine, wow. Like $25.
Do they have some V2 or something that this one is cheap?
Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry about that. I can hear you now. So apparently my AirPods don't give me any warning. No noise, no nothing when they're about to die. So, yeah.
Do anything, because it makes like a really loud sound that always startles me. But sometimes just don't do it.
Well, that was irritating. Sorry about that. I'm back. Did I miss anything that I didn't respond to?
I was asking you a question. I just assumed you didn't like me, so, you know.
Yeah, we'll just talk about how I found BL touches for super cheap, but oh well. It's like,
No,
I think it's
what was that question?
Jaeger had a question. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that the heat set insert tip that comes with the LDO V0 kit didn't fit on one of the soldering irons. Do you know if it fits on the TS100 style?
No, it wouldn't, because the TS100 doesn't have the. Let me see if I have mine handy. It doesn't have the sleeve, so this is the tip that comes with the LDO kit.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
and the TS100 needs the entire module because that's the heater, right? The heater is in the tip on those.
Yeah, that's why they are more expensive than any other.
I haven't had any problems using a different cheap soldering iron to do the heat set inserts. Was just curious.
Right. Okay, so last thing. Put on here.
I might just buy another printer at this point because I'm never having my main one working.
Tuffle, I think.
It's always me. Like my printer is so cursed.
The Ender, I think compatible. But I'm not sure what's the Clipper support. The MKS boards, they are pretty cheap and fairly well, not as bad as they used to be.
Just to get like another Ender free and just use it as a backup.
So there's Galileo.
Mm-hmm.
Now Jared's latest release has, because the LDO kit comes with this little Ptfe connector. It has a spot here to thread that in. There's two versions. There's one for just direct threading in the Ptfe. I'll need an actual wrench for this, I think. Hey, I have it. That just threads.
Do you print the part with threads?
The part did print with threads. It makes it really tight, and that's why I needed a wrench there, because that's not a great orientation to print those threads, because it prints like this.
Oh, but yeah, I see that.
It seems to fit well, so we'll go with it. That is with the cable chain put on, cable cover put on. Finishes are all hopefully not too tedious and long. Extruder assembly marathon.
More extruders than you will ever need.
Wow. You've seen
maybe not.
You've seen my printer list.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have enough projects for them.
Yeah. And it honestly, I will probably swap between them, because this is the printer that's going to get like the 25 tooth AB pulleys. It's going to get, it'll get some sort of click style or micro switch style Z end stop setup.
Oh yeah, I heard Eddie made a video about stepper motors, and he mentioned that a few people are testing the 0.9 stepper motors with 25 tooth pulleys.
Yep, and that's what I have on this Trident. Eddie's video is really great. I recommend. It's just published yesterday or today. I recommend anybody who's interested in that go view it.
Yesterday, I think. Yeah, it's a really interesting video, the one about steppers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so extruders are done. Let me clean up a little bit here, and let's bring the printer back up here and do some actual printing.
I'm not going to mention Eddie in G-Chat because he will immediately see it. I have the power to call him to G-Chat, without actually mentioning him.
I keep calling him Upside Down Benchy Man because he wants printing an Upside Down Benchy for some reason. I don't know why, but...
to test the...
Oh yeah, because he had like
supports.
2 extruders, didn't he?
Yeah, he had ABS with hips support.
So you guys saw probably way too much of me fiddling with wiring today. So hopefully...
No, that's fine.
I've had enough of printers now, to be honest, up to everything.
I got a neat little package the other day that's going to make our wiring much easier. Orange wires even. Check that out. So...
It's in time for Halloween.
I don't think we'll hit working on this today, but the next stream will probably be wiring it and doing a lot of finish up work. So I'm really excited to try this. There's a couple of tweaks I want to do. I believe this is the thermistor and hot end, and you saw me today build a 4-pin connector. So I'm going to try to depin this and set that up as a single 4-pin to match the rest of what I do. I've successfully depinned the microfits before. It's not a big deal, and we'll go over that. So for now, I'm going to set this out of the way, but I'm excited that will make the last part of this build, I think, a lot less painful. Okay, so we're going to make some room and bring the main attraction back in. Okay, so I have a tool head on here because I was taking some pictures showing why we no longer recommend the PL05 or 08 on the MGN12 X setup. And it's just, there's...
Not even the PL05? Or just PL08?
So I'm making an assumption here that they have the same body, right?
I think
are they
the
the same sensor
PL05 is a
body?
little bit shorter, but I have both. I can check.
That could be
Give me a
that could be a
second.
very bad assumption on my part. I don't even know what I have here. Is this an 08 or an 05? And I am not even going to go close to reading that. This is a PL08. Yeah. That would be interesting to know if the 05 is the same body or not. Okay. So, we kind of talked a little bit, or at least mentioned, the 25 tooth pulley setup. As with any mod or off-spec setup, your mileage may vary and your level of need to modify parts may vary. So what's going on here is the pulleys themselves are, if you look at the datasheet for them, the spec for them, they're supposed to be 19 millimeters in diameter. A 22 pulley is 16 millimeters in diameter. So the clearance in this particular case, the clearance between this idler stack here and the pulley is very, very close. It's at the point where if things aren't lined up just right, then it rubs. So what I did, I went and made some new parts that moves this idler over, so we have plenty of room for that, for the 25 tooth pulley. So we're going to swap those out real quick. And hopefully, the reason I want to do this, and I didn't do this off camera, is hopefully I want to show that it's not really too big of a deal to do most of this type of thing with a pretty minimal amount of disassembly. So I'm just going to loosen the front idlers completely, and that gives me a lot of slack here.
Okay, Steve, I
Yeah.
have both probes here, and this the standard Zhongdi, however you pronounce it, PL08, and 2 is 35 millimeters.
Okay.
And the Omron, it's the B stock from AliExpress. That one is around 2.8 millimeters high. So it's like 7 millimeters difference between them.
Is that
Right.
the PL or the TL, though?
Oh, sorry. TL.
Yeah, the TL is the good size one. The PL, as far as I've seen, the PL08 and PL05 are the same size.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
But the TL is definitely smaller.
Yeah, that one was... I think I just clicked on the link that was recommended.
Well,
the B
this
stock,
being,
I mean.
This being the PL style, the
Mm-hmm.
And then the
And while my sample size is one of each, both my PL08 and PL05 look exactly like that.
yeah, and this is the Omron, which will fit. This is definitely a much shorter.
Yep, 7 millimeters. That's what I
Yeah.
just measured.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So the Omron's no problems, but the PL, if the 08 and the 05 share a housing, those are a problem.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so I've taken the stepper out. We're going to
Or clicky, then. I see it's becoming very popular.
I really like the intent and theory behind the clicky probe, but I felt, and this may be, it's entirely possible that I did something wrong, but I tested it for a while on my V1 before starting the Trident conversion, and I found the macros not to be consistent enough to be what I'd consider safe. But basically, unless I specifically altered the macro to move my tool head away from the Z end stop after homing all three axes, it would then immediately start to go back down on the Z end stop spot and crash the probe. And that was every single time.
Yeah,
But-
I have zero experience with the clicky style setups, but I have heard there's a lot of effort being put into the setup, the macro side of it.
Yeah. And I know other people use it, so my assumption is that I somehow did something wrong, but I didn't modify the macros to until I found that problem and tried to fix it. You know, they were stock up to that point. Maybe after I finish the Trident conversion, I'll try it again.
Putting that quick heat set in that needs to be in the for the wire cover that goes here. There's a little wire cover that sits in there on Trident. Okay, so now this is just, I've removed removed most of the screws here. The tricky part is going to be getting the belts routed through and pulling the idler stacks. So let's see how big of a pain this is going to be. Okay, let's think about this. There we go.
Perfect.
Oh, I gotta.
Work out as desired.
No, but it'll be fine.
What, you mean you don't plan to shoot the bearing stacks everywhere every time you work on them? I thought that was
Yeah.
accepted.
Now I gotta figure out which. Okay, so I've got the bottom pieces here. I'll figure out which one. Okay. I'll probably look at the ones that have been tightened down on too. Look at the witness marks from tightening the screws down. Okay, I think it may be easiest to do something like this. No, it won't be easiest to put something like that. We gotta do it like this. Get the belts in there. That guy there. That guy there.
Are these updated STLs available?
I can make them available. There's nothing special about them. All I did is move the inside idlers inside 2 millimeters each, and that gave us clearance for up to a 20.66 something millimeter pulley. So I was
Okay.
saying before that the spec on these is 19 millimeters. Pouch sent us pulleys that are 20 millimeters. And so I turned these down on my lathe to 19, and they still, this side is fine, this side's rubs, so I turned that one down even more. But there were a couple other people who were trying the 25 tooth pulley, so I figured I might as well make a fix in the STLs, and then we shouldn't have to modify the pulleys. I made the top hole larger too, so if you have to get a screwdriver in there to help route your belts, should work.
Yeah, I start my build in a couple weeks, so might as well print out the new ones before I even start.
Are you gonna do this 25 tooth pulley thing?
To be honest with you, I'm actually a tester on one of the Magic Studios first kits, so
Oh, nice.
I have to go relook at the bomb again just to
It shouldn't.
see.
It'll be 20 tooth.
Uh,
I would hope that no kit makers are throwing stuff that, I mean, this is just, having fun experimenting with parts type. Okay, so that was wrong.
well, I guess if it's already on the official bomb, the right stuff, then I guess it won't matter.
Yeah. This one has to go to the inside there. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Can you give a quick explanation of what the reasoning is for the 25 tooth pulleys, or would I find the answer to that in Eddie's video that I haven't watched yet?
Eddie's video is going to explain it way better than I'll be able to fumble through right here.
Okay, got it. I have that queued up for later.
It's about the 16-minute mark specifically, because actually I anticipated that question today, so I paid attention to the
Nice.
to the
Okay.
timestamp. I don't know what is going to be easier on this. I know I'm kind of fiddling here, trying to figure out how to do this without pulling the whole belt path apart. And I think actually doing something like this, throwing this in and building my bearing stack upside down might work.
I did do a similar thing once, and I used one of those L-shaped hex keys, just held it up from the bottom while I put the bearing stack together.
Oh yeah, that would. Let's see.
And then when I was ready to fully assemble it, I pushed the hex key out with the actual screw that goes in that spot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's that one. That one would then go right like that. This has to go. Has to go inside. Do I have anything here? I got an idea. Okay. Test the idea. What do we got here? I need two here. This guy. And then this. And then a nut. Just for now. There we go. I gotta find the rest of my bits and pieces. I'm missing one shim. I will find that later. Yep, I'll just find it later. I'll grab a new one. I'm gonna grab this one. And that. now trying to play a little magic trick getting this thing, get that swapped. I'm kind of liking your idea. Let's try.
It was right around then that I found myself wishing I had much smaller fingers than I do.
Aha! I did it. I think. I hope. Woohoo! Cool. Now I just got to do it again. Okay. That was not too bad. That'll just give me extra slack there, so that'll be fine. I'll just leave that off. You guys still hear me okay?
Yep, no problems.
Awesome. After the AirPod,
Yes, sir.
after the AirPod incident earlier, I'm a little shy, a little gun shy.
I was just sitting quietly in awe of your swap job there. I feel like every time I mess with the bearing stacks, I drop them probably about 37 more times than you did.
I just got lucky, actually. So, let's see here. Let's get much tighter. Okay, I think I'll pull that. Pull that pulley entirely. There we go. There. Jeez, there we go. Okay. See if I can capture these and not lose a shim this time. Instead, I'll lose a screwdriver. There we go.
I'd rather drop the screwdriver than the other parts.
Yeah. They find somewhere to hide. Okay. Let's put this up here. I'm going to end up having to pull this off, but let's see. It's going to go there.
Oh, by the way, did I mention I ordered some random T-nuts from Amazon here in Europe?
I saw your
Amazon
post.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually M5 match, but M3 I just checked and it's still in transit. So,
Oh, okay.
like delivered, should be delivered by Saturday. Well, I think it's Sunday evening and still nothing, so should get them soon and I will test them. If they work, then that's great.
Are they the that same profile, that same shorter profile?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they match or they fit into LDO frame.
Mm-hmm.
I tried them on both frames, the 1.8 and 2.4, and they match in. Some
But-
need a little bit more persuasion to push them in,
Yeah.
but and taking them out, especially those that take a little bit more force, can be a little bit pain. But other than that, some of them like slide in really, really nicely. But those are so far M5 only, so I'm curious about those M3.
Yeah, let us know.
Definitely. It's good. I mean, especially for Euro people, because this one was ordered from German Amazon. But I think they, well, anyway, probably some China company or something. But still.
Why is that not going on there? Okay, whatever. Okay, these are going to go... That has to go like that, and then it has to go in, and then out. Right? No, that just goes straight across. Never mind. It's that one. That one goes straight across. This one goes in like this. So now this...
Just need one more opposable thumb for this operation.
Woohoo! Maybe? Maybe?
Or a third hand.
Or some luck, whatever works.
Oh, luck is where we're at. That's what we're relying on.
Nice work.
Okay, I have to say you're pretty mad lad trying to change it like this.
Okay, so I know on this one, I got the... Woo! And there it goes.
Oh no.
Found the one.
I'm amazed you didn't do this without swearing. It's...
Oh, it was still up here, so we got them all. Let's pull this in here. Woo! See, now is the time when it's all going to drop about 30 times.
Hopefully not.
We're going to keep track now? Start counting?
I'm sorry.
You've jinxed me. Oh, what in the world? Why do I have an extra? Well, that'll be fun. Where'd that one come from? Maybe that's the one that I was missing before. Okay, let's do that.
I see you're back with the safety trident.
The safety trident.
Well, it's orange.
Yes. Did you see the safety wiring for the safety trident?
No, not yet. How long ago did you start?
Oh, I've been going for about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. Guess I didn't notice.
I spent a lot of time assembling extruders. There we go.
That wiring harness is going to look nice, though.
I got a orange wiring harness from Linneo. Is that right? How you say that? Linneo? Okay, this is all good. So let's put this snipper back in. Like that. Yeah, and I've got a solid, at least a millimeter of clearance now between the idler stack and the pulley. So that makes me happy. We're gonna put that on temporarily and try to get this thing on there, just like that. Okay, and I'm missing 2 screws somewhere. It must be over here. Just
No,
snug.
Steve. He didn't jinx it. You just got inspired by Linus.
What's the story there?
Linus is known for dropping stuff.
Especially expensive things.
Yes.
Oh.
Graphics cards,
Oh,
whatnot.
yeah. I feel like,
Everybody's making jokes of him
I don't know,
about that,
klutziness-
like a meme.
klutziness has got to come with age, because I know I drop things way more than I used to.
I kind of wonder sometimes if he doesn't drop things on purpose every now and then just to perpetuate that meme. After all, it's an entertainment channel, so, maybe they
Yeah.
do.
I think he was once mentioning that actually he got some injury in his elbow or something, and he cannot completely twist either the wrist or something, and that may cause a bit of perception of clumsiness.
Maybe so.
I mean, it's one thing to like drop something out of clumsiness. It's another thing to, include it in the video that you have a team of 20 people working on.
Okay.
Hey, at least he got he monetizes it, let's put it this way.
Okay, so that's swapped. So I think we're at a point where we can continue on in the manual. Let's see, where are we?
It's easier when the funds to replace it are coming from someone else.
So we got
Right.
Clockwork and Galileo and all that assembled. And we're not going to put this on the printer yet. Actually, why not? Is there any reason why not? I don't think there's any reason why not. Oops. There we go. So I think ultimately we're going to end up with Galileo on here. I need to cut these a little shorter. I don't know how much shorter, but I want to continue to make sure that they are the same length, even after I cut them shorter, so any future maintenance will be easier. Yep. And I'm just going to fold these back on themselves. And this is the belts. Okay, so those are folded back in there. If we put our ABVN into place, and I think we're a 40mm screw to hold that on. Yep. Now,
So is it 40mm?
It's 40mm to hold the tool head to the carriage. Now, I cut the Ptfe tube for the tool head to the same length it would be for the LGX extruder, or there's Clockwork. Clockwork should be around here somewhere, or the Clockwork. The latest orbiter setup, and we can probably see that. There's a long channel here. I think it's an extra 15mm that Jared put in so you have more Ptfe lined filament path than plastic ABS lined. So my solution for that is I'll just cut a piece of Ptfe and shove it in into the body here to cover that gap. But for now, let me just throw that on there, and then this will go right in there. That'll be all good. What does it say?
Is there a recommended size, not length, but the diameter for that bit of PTFE?
The 2mm. 1.9 would be fine too, but the 2mm stuff is what you want for that. You want the 3mm stuff for the quote unquote reverse Bowden tube, the tube going from your spool to the tool head. You want the 3mm inner diameter stuff, but for the filament path inside the tool head, you want the 2mm.
Are you recording today, Steve?
I am. We're unlisted live on YouTube, and then
I think you didn't post the link, or did you?
Actually? I did, and I posted it. I didn't post it in the normal places because I felt I was spamming, because I was posting it in the Trident channel and GChat and VOC, or the other chat. Today I just put it in the video showcase. Video showcase and Trident are the places that I put it. What are these? A 20 and a 30. Secured here so it doesn't fall off.
I know the extruders took you long, but actually we appreciate it.
I was hoping, because I know some of those can be some of the detail of assembling them the little extra bits of information can be useful. So I'm glad you said that, because I was hoping it would be worth the time. Okay.
I'm only using the clockwork, but it was interesting to see the other two.
So I made a mistake, and I did not I don't have an extra 40 by 10 fan on hand, but we'll get as far as we can on this next piece. So this is the ABBN part cooling fan. Let me bring up the GitHub page on that. So this is Bad Noob's GitHub page with all the details on what to print, how to print it, how to assemble it. I think one thing that kind of tripped me up for a little bit when I was getting this set up is that you print some things. There's different versions. So what we're going to install today is ABBN 30. And if you go down here on the page, and I'm going to try not to be scroll happy here, but if you go down here on the page, it'll give you a what to print. So what files need to be printed. And everybody will need these things. The ABBN 30 parts for the fan front and back. But what tripped me up is I couldn't find spring or spacers for 30 until I saw this, what do you need to print, and know that you have to print the 28 version of the spring and spacer. So this being the spring, and this is a spacer on the back. And then this is the 30 version, and he was nice and modeled in the version number into the STLs. So this is the whole point of this mod, I guess, is obviously to improve airflow to the cooling filament cooling flow. And one part of this, besides modeled and improved ducting, is using a 50-15 fan, where the afterburner clockwork uses a 40-20 fan that goes in a smaller housing like this. In order to keep it looking reasonable, this fan as it is, these mounting tabs take up a lot of space, so you have to cut those off. So I've done that already. I cut them off with a hacksaw and then took a file to make sure everything was nice and smooth. So you do that, and then like the other, the regular afterburner setup, you have to pop the front of the fan off. So then you're left with just the rotor and the back housing with the wiring. So we are going to try to follow his assembly instructions. Down here under assembly, and we're going to cut the ears off. We already cut the ears off the fan, and then we use this little spring in here first, and this spring comes with a little print helper disc on the end, and I'm just going to break that off. So this slides in here like that. This is the first time I'm actually assembling this, so okay. And then I think the fan just kind of springs into place. Let's see here.
Given how common this mod actually is, do you think it will become more or less standard version of Afterburner sooner or later?
I can say that there are always efforts underway to improve, especially in areas that like this that have been determined there are things that can be improved. So yeah, things get worked on.
Ah,
Okay.
is this what Snero is hiding behind those boxes?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think he's done a pretty good job with wire management. There's some grooves in the spring here. I think the wiring comes down something like that. Let's see what he's got going on. Yeah.
Looks like they come up out the higher part though, rather than in the middle.
Yep, I get that. So,
Yeah,
so what it is?
but you don't have the 4010, so...
I don't have the 4010, so that's the one that's going to come up through here and then come off the side. And there's a notch in here where those are going to come out. So and then there's some tabs in here that'll get that to lock into place. I don't know how hard that's going to be to pull apart once I get those 4010 fans. They'll be here tomorrow. So we'll table this and finish that off, and I'll put a connector and everything on this next stream. And then this piece, I think, just gets sandwiched. I think it gets sandwiched like that. And that's where those wires come through. So, yeah. Back to the assembly manual. Actually, let's look at Bad Noob's thing and see if there. Yeah, that spacer goes like I said. Wiring through there. And that's the end. So let's go back to the Trident manual. This is going to go over how to do the fan blower setup for the spec setup. We're just going to skip all of this. Hey, we get to put, looks like we get to put the deck on and some of the cable chain stuff. So let's get the...
That's where I am currently because I forgot to print the little deck support pieces.
Okay, so we got that guy. And let's just go ahead and grab a bunch of these deck support pieces out of here. So I think we're going to get the deck on today, and that'll be about it. We'll be at about 2.5 hours. The biggest reason I'll need to pause is I forgot to cut my din rail. I got this piece that I've been using to test the the mounting of the electronics clips, but it needs to be cut down.
Nice.
So that is not reasonable to do on stream or have you guys wait while I do it. So we'll just pick that up next time. So let me get these installed and at least get the deck on here. The thing looks so much better once the deck's in place.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. When I first built my V1, I went with the cheap Coroplast option just to get it built, but absolutely hated the way that looked and quickly bought the ACM panels.
So as part of the whole LDO making sure that the stuff that they're going to make for this are right, they sent me a few things. One obviously being the frame, but another is a set of panels. So the deck panel, bottom panel, and rear panel, and then all the clear panels I have sets of. I've confirmed that they fit and they're going to be fine, but at the same time, Printed Solid sent a set of their ACM panels. So that's what we're actually going to install here today. ACM panels.
Are the LDO sets also ACM for the 3 panels and then PC or acrylic for the others?
So the LDO ones are acrylic for everything. They're black acrylic for the deck, bottom, and rear, and then clear acrylic for the sides, top, and doors.
Okay.
So
I have a set of both the V1 and the Trident ACM panels from Printed Solid, and they've been excellent quality.
yeah, I dropped something against mine the other day, so I'm hoping I didn't scratch through the protective coating that's on it. I'll find out today. Okay.
Doesn't this is probably not a problem with Trident, but V2 can have the problem with acrylic. I'm not sure what actually is the PMMA. I think it's like 70 or 80 degrees Celsius, and I have seen it warping.
I have
A few
not
people.
tried. None of my printers have. Neither of my V2s. Let's put it that way. Neither of my V2s have acrylic deck panels. They both have ABS. Just your tap plastics is where I got them. ABS panels, and they have not warped. But acrylic may have a lower temperature. And I don't know if you can see. You can't really see. But
Yeah, I think the
my-
plexiglass that I have some from Germany is like 70 degrees and long term. I think maximum temperature, and
Well,
then like
I'm not
80 or 90.
I don't
short
doubt that
term.
the acrylic ones will warp, but I haven't seen that with the ABS. So.
I think Tom Sandler was having it also in his video. They worked pretty badly.
Okay, so these we're just using hammerhead nuts for, and I'm not gonna actually. The exact location is going to be determined by. I mean, it'll be easiest to locate when I put the deck on there. So let's go back to the manual. Okay, so that it says 73 millimeters over. Let's see how close I am just eyeballing it. I got about 81 millimeters. Let's see. Since we're part of this is checking the manual, let's go with it. 73-ish. Just put it there and see how well that is. And then the corner wire covers. Both corners, and then the deck. Okay. Okay, wire cutters. Got one wire cover. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. I had some hopes of actually having this done in time to get serial number 300 on it, but I don't think that's going to happen because I think we're at like 297 now.
298, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay, let's grab the deck panel and get that thing on. Let's try this. Let's just turn it on its front. A couple of screws back here I don't want to accidentally scratch the frame on. These guys have to come. I got everything draped over the extrusion, so. Okay, so I got this guy. I have not pulled protective coating off on any of these, so I have no idea what it looks like underneath.
Slowly and enjoy it. And make a video of it. And post it to r/that peeling feeling, or what's the subreddit?
Of course there's a subreddit for that. Ooh, this is going to be fingerprint city, isn't it? Ooh. That's just all, yeah, look at that, fingerprints. This is the side, right there is where I hit something, so let's see if it actually shows through. And if it, oh, it does show through, but it rubbed off. I think I'll have to clean these once it's in. Okay. Right here, just like this. I think well, that's an interesting.
Oi, oi.
What is going to be? Oh, aha! There we go.
Oh.
What did I do? Oh, that's what I did wrong. I put this stepper on backwards, so now, or rotated, so now I can't get the.
Oh. The cables are going, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to force it past them, especially ACM with a potentially sharp edge. Let's just rotate the stepper real quick. When I was working on the purple one, it wasn't too big of a deal to pull these stepper mounts from the top and just set the ACM or the deck panel in from the top either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Is it more difficult with Trident?
well, I mean that was with Trident. There we go. Sweet. And then these little twist in. Which way are they supposed to go? There we go. Push them into place. think these all rotate clockwise into place. And the exact positioning isn't important. They just provide some support. Later on, I'll be putting some Wago connectors or mounting brackets down here, so I'll probably end up repositioning these. Okay. Very nice. What do you think? That'll do?
Hmm.
A little bit of alcohol to clean it up. Clean all the fingerprints off that I'm going to put right back on it before I'm done building this. I like it. Here's the other thing I'm going to do that I really like is I bought these slot-in
Extrusion covers?
Yeah, extrusion covers.
Yeah, or the slots.
So these are open builds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a US based extrusion. They do V-slot stuff. They have CNC machines and stuff like that. But these, even though they're made for their V-slot extrusions, these fit the Masumi and LDO extrusions really well. And I put them on all the top facing slots, especially down in the bottom of the printer, just so it's easier to clean everything out. Little bits of filament, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just mark this. I just give it a little scratch to mark it, and I use just a Ptfe cutter to there we go. And I'll end up putting that on every little spot around that. I won't do it all right here, but I've done that on all the other printers, and it really helps keep the little garbage cleaned up. Let's see, where are we at in the manual? We'll get that. We'll put in the twist lock deck supports. And then we're on to the DIN rails, which I still need to cut. So we're going to wrap it up for today then. Most likely next stream will be same time next Sunday, unless I get motivated to do one between now and then. So let me check. Thanks for those that watched on YouTube. Sorry about the little audio issues earlier. And thanks for those you guys in Discord chat. I really appreciate you hanging out. So we'll see you next time. I'm going to stop the stream, but I'll still be in Discord chat to chat. Bye.